You can tell by the whitecaps in the background it's going to be a rough day, but welcome back, crew, to Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at beautiful Haulover Inlet here in Miami. And as we mentioned, captains, let's see how you handle it on a rough day at Haulover. And this is going to bring us to the first round of our contest, and here in the first round, the boats are going to toss an MJM yacht into the ring to see how they can fare and try and get on the board first, but let's go round one, get it started. Our crew is making their way in toward the mouth of Haulover. Looks pretty solid. They've got the boat kind of up on plane, not necessarily, it's actually just off of plane, which is probably about the right pace for this boat on a day like today. Basically, by staying just off plane, they're going to keep that bow high, allowing them to post up on the back of the waves and hopefully not falling too far down into the trough. But keeping that bow high is going to be a huge advantage for them to avoid trying to stuff the bow on the wave in front of them as they come in. Now, as Cap gets through in closer to the mouth of the inlet right here, he starts to pick up the pace, open up the throttle a little bit, but you can see as he did that, the bow dropped. But fortunately, he's okay, and they wind up making it in and taking a win for the boats in the first round. And that's going to bring us to the second round of our competition, and here in the second round, the boats are going to toss an invincible catamaran in the ring to see how they can fare. And here we go, and Cap's got to get on the throttle on this one. These cats need some air in the tunnel, and in order to do that, he's got to land into the throttles and get this thing moving. This actually could be really bad. As heavy as the waves are today, if he can't get that bow up, they're likely going to stuff it, which is something we don't see a lot of down here at Haulover, especially from these boats. But right here we can see they're working their way out, and he winds up plopping down, coming through the wave, and it goes over the top, and they do wind up getting the stuffing, and unfortunately for them, that means they're going to wind up taking a loss for the boats here in the second round, which is an unusual loss for a large catamaran like this. But again, I believe this one's Captain Air. He just really had to get on the throttles, and he did not wind up doing so, and as we mentioned, winds up taking a loss for the boats here in the second round. That's going to bring us to a 1-1 tie as we move into the third round of our contest. And here in the third round, the boats are going to toss an Intrepid in the ring to see if they can go ahead and try and get back ahead on the leaderboard. But here we go, round three. Let's see how the boats wind up faring. And this crew, they're moving the Intrepid pretty solid. This is actually a great running attitude for a day like today. They're just barely up on plane on this one, keeping that bow high, letting the boat do its job as it works its way out of Haulover, just cutting through these waves. Now, this is a big boat, but it's a rough day at Haulover, so I still got to give the captain credit on this one. It definitely could have gone wrong, but he pulls it out to make it go right and take a win for the boats in the third round, which will move us to the fourth round of our contest. The boats are now up 2-1. And here in the fourth round, the boats are going to have a dive charter boat coming out of Haulover, and let's see how this crew fares. And for some reason, we have stalled. They're not going anywhere right this second. I don't know if Cap's waiting for the right set or kind of trying to keep an eye on things before he goes ahead and powers his way. Nope, they're getting sideways. Something is absolutely wrong, because this is not where you want to be, where you start taking C's on the beam, especially on a rough day here at Haulover. As you can tell, as these waves come in, that creates a nice rocking situation, but it's not good for this vessel. Cap's got to be having some sort of mechanical... Oh my gosh, they're heading toward the rocks. There's got to be some sort of mechanical issue going on here. We saw a young lady here. She started to walk up like she was going to move up to the bow of the boat, quickly turns around and decides not to. And it looks like one of the other crew members is going to do so. So we are heading toward the rocks. They've got to get this one figured out quick. I have to imagine our guys coming up here in case we need to quickly deploy the anchor. And that would work in this situation to kind of pause the boat a little bit. But holding an anchor here in this rough of occurrence, always a difficult one, but it might at least get the boat pointed away from the rocks. So something happened there. Motors fired up for sure as we saw what looked like debris coming out. I'm wondering if something was clogged and it was kind of stopping the motor from running. So Cap got her running again. He's going to start to get it turned around, but this was a close call. And now we've got somebody up in the bow. Are they going to still go out? So This one's a captain call, but if this was me and my boat stalled as I was coming out of Haulover, I likely would turn around and head back in until I can figure out at least what happened. Maybe he does know what happened already, but I definitely don't recommend this one coming out of Haulover with somebody riding in the bow on a rough day like this, just hanging on to the bow rail. I mean, this one's a captain's call, but I don't recommend or necessarily agree with this captain's choice. I definitely would have had my guy come back before I made it out, or before I even started to attempt to go out. So quickly, they're going to dive around the north side of the jetty to try and get out of that Haulover current. But man, I don't have much of a choice on this one. I just kind of don't agree with some of the decisions that were made here. I feel like this is a charter captain forcing the charter, but I'm going to go ahead and give the win to Haulover on that one, even though they wind up making it out in the end. And that's going to take us to the 5th and final round of our contest. We are now tied at 2 apiece. Who will take the win? Will it be the boats or Haulover? And my man, I don't think this is going to be much of a contest. Haulover is firing today, but it is not Pershing firing. I mean, a high-performance yacht like this should have no issues whatsoever, even on a day like today at Haulover, as our crew is going to start to work their way out, and they don't even got to do much. They're not even really going to get this thing up on plane. They're just going to slow roll it out and kind of flex on Haulover, take a win for the boats, and wind up taking the win in this episode. But it is a beautiful boat. Let me know your thoughts on this yacht in the comments below. But thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, who do some great comedy boating videos over there as well. And of course, we've got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that features all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.